Hi, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. We're Don's Angels.
Here we are.
That's right, girl power tonight. We're really excited to give the boys a night off and take over the news desk. We've got all the same things that you've come to expect. We have our regular news stories, and then, of course, we'll have our It's Easy Being Green.
Wonderful.
Certainly is for us, isn't it? And then we'll cover our community bulletin board. We have a roll-in from Denise Pringle. She is talking about the Merry Wives of Windsor review. And then we'll have our 55-plus news stories, what's happening for them. And then we'll wrap up with a nice interview that I did with Mary Glass of ATAG. So are we ready ladies?
Thank you, yes.
I'm Inga Middleton.
Oh, I'm Miriam Gennari.
I'm Inga Middleton.
And my name's Adele Quo.
And a social media room.
And thank you. Please remember to see us at Arlington Weekly News at youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News #1 and facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, as well as WERA Radio 96.7 FM.
That's right. Tune in. All right. So shall we get started?
Awesome. Yes.
Excellent. Well, Northern Virginia health officials launched a coordinated effort to identify people who may have been exposed to someone carrying measles. For Arlington residents, this includes a notice that a certain restaurant had been visited by a measles victim between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. January 26th or 27th. Arl Now reported the information, including the name and address of the restaurant, so that patrons who visited had time to be warned. After the report was published, the not-to-be-named establishment threatened legal action against Arl Now for naming the restaurant in the report. The letter claimed the establishment was being unfairly singled out despite that it was the only Arlington location where an exposure may have occurred. Here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we can't afford lawsuits. So we'll just refer you to the Arl Now article so you may make your own decision about balance between private and public health. Inga?
Thank you, Miriam. Meanwhile, the Arlington County Board approved an additional $200 spending fine for certain area neighborhoods. Current fines have been based on a charge of $6 per mile per hour above the 25 mile per hour residential limit, plus $66 in mandated court fees. The extra $200 fines will reportedly be added to the county's budget. Miriam.
Great way to thwart a tragedy. So good. Excellent.
Yes.
Arlington purchases solar power, one of the headlines to emerge this past week. Arlington's newsroom stated the project goes beyond the county's adopted community energy plan goal of having at least 50% electricity for operations come from renewable sources by 2022. Since Arlington already pays Dominion for electricity, the agreement is expected to be cost neutral over time. The details, however, look somewhat different. Inga?
It's progress in some way. Thank you, Miriam. What has happened is that Arlington County Board has approved partnership with Dominion Energy Virginia to purchase power from a solar farm in Southern Virginia. Amazon is also set to purchase power from the same project. Arlington's share is expected to be about 1/3, with the rest going to Amazon. As for the actual solar farm, it doesn't exist yet. Dominion plans to build the farm beginning in 2020, with operations set to begin in 2022, not by 2022. The farm itself will use land that is currently primarily agricultural. Some people may start to wonder about where their food will be coming from.
But I bet Adele will get to that. But today, it's time for
Another It's Easy Being Green.
What's up, Adele? What's
Wow,
going on?
thanks for that welcome. It's always good to be back. So welcome to another It's Easy Being Green. My name is Adele Quo, and our mascot, Joe Tree Frog, presents a special Valentine's Day message. Roses are red, violets are blue. Virginia native plants are better for you. Today in the U.S., the wild rose competes with the violet as our most popular state flower. Both are the symbols of several states. The roses are probably the #1 symbol of love in human history. Roses have been hybridized since Roman times, and new hybrid roses offer almost anything you would desire in color or fragrance. Yet many people think there is no purer beauty than the true wild rose. Yet there is a distinction, beware, between native and wild. The highly invasive Rosa multiflora, common name is multiflora rose, is native to Japan and Korea and has been used extensively in the U.S. as a living fence. It escaped cultivation and has become an invasive pest, beautiful in bloom, but a real problem to contain. So America's native roses return to the limelight, not only for their beauty and usefulness, but from their more than 35 million years evolutionary immunity to the dreaded rose-rosette disease, or RRD, that's attacking the highly invasive Rosa multiflora. RRD seems particularly fond of the popular and overused knockout roses that so many landscapers are planting too close together, allowing the disease to more easily spread, and RRD is potentially lethal to all your cultivated hybrid roses. However, our true Virginia native roses are worth seeking out. You can burn them, weed whack them, step on them, and eat them, and they'll continue to grow. They're as much at home growing by train tracks or dry roadsides or on the edges of swamps as they are in the most refined garden. They're so tough that the U.S. Department of Soil Conservation once tested them for use in highway medians, finding they could stop a car. Despite their toughness, they possess the qualities that have us obsessing over roses for the past several millennia. They're delicate, fragrant flowers in shades of white, pink, or magenta, but not red. Pollinators, especially honeybees, love them. They're edible, bright red fall hips. Birds will dine on them in fall and winter, and these same hips offers important antioxidants for humans. You can find rose hip recipes online. Our Virginia native roses make a great Valentine's Day gift for carefree rose gardening. So remember, it's easy being green, giving your Valentine a true Virginia native rose.
Thank you, Adele. Your report is like a Valentine's gift.
Well, thank you. I hope you pass this on to your significant other.
Absolutely,
Nice,
and he
yes.
passes it to me.
Exactly.
And now we're going to move on to our community bulletin board. Our friends at Arlington Philharmonic are celebrating Leap Year with a fundraising concert they are calling Timeless. This will be libations, music, merriment, and a raffle. The refreshments start early, while the concert will follow 30 minutes later. That's on Saturday, February 29th, 2020, starting at 6:30 p.m. at the St. George Episcopal Church, 915 North Oakland Street. Tickets cost $4 in advance or $45 at the door. Advance tickets can be obtained at www.arlingtonphilharmonic.org. Inga?
Thank you, Miriam. This is the time of year when people often ask two questions. First, where did all the time go? And second, where did all the money go? Yes, it's getting to be tax time again. Fortunately, free help is available for people of low to moderate income. Walk-in appointments are now available between now and April 15th on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. in the Bluemont Room, Arlington Central Library, 1015 North Quincy Street. Miriam.
Gotta do those taxes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Here's an event that the younger kids will enjoy. It's called Squirrels and Chipmunks. It's a chance to learn about the fun furry creatures we sometimes see in our neighborhoods. Questions like, how do they manage to survive in an urban environment, and where do they raise their babies, will be answered. Children aged 5 and up must be accompanied by a registered adult, but registration is free. That's coming up Saturday, February 22nd from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. For more information, call 703-228-6535. Sounds fun, Inga?
So cute. Thank you, Miriam. Here's a regular event that is frequently forgotten about. It's called Open Door Monday, and it's a chance for Arlington residents to sit down with a county board member for a one-on-one conversation. Voting in every election is great, of course, but this is an opportunity to bring in any topic or issue you wish to discuss, and no reservations are required. Conversations will be on a first-come, first-served basis, so you'll want to arrive on time. There's an available night on Monday, February 17th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Glebe Room at Arlington Central Library, 1015 North Quincy Street. For more information, call 703-228-3130. And now we've got
And now we have a wonderful roll-in from Denise Pringle as she reviews The Merry Wives of Windsor. Denise?
The Merry Wives of Windsor at Folger Theatre feature one of William Shakespeare's most beloved buffoons, Falstaff, in his attempt to woo two wives in Windsor. He targets Mistress Page and Mistress Ford in order to gain access to their husbands' fortunes. Unfortunately, he employs a plan that is not well thought out and sends them nearly identical love letters. It doesn't take long before the two women compare notes, become highly insulted, and devise their own more effective plan to expose him and subject him to a little light-hearted revenge. The most striking aspect of this mounting of the play is director Aaron Posner's decision to set it in the 1970s. Scenic design by Tony Chiswick that pays homage to the home from the Brady Bunch is paired with costume design by Devin Painter that brings neon-colored, printed polyester clothing and bell-bottoms back into the spotlight. I'm sure I was not the only person in the audience who thought for a moment that their own old wardrobe had come back to haunt them. However, these light-hearted design elements of that era, along with memories of the early steps of the women's liberation movement, were great components to summon for a play based on the collaboration of two women to even the score between themselves and a man with less than honorable intentions toward them. Brian Manny as Falstaff is well padded and ridiculously clad, although he sees himself as a lusty Lothario who is sure his own simple-minded ploys will work to seduce both women. Ford, the more jealous of the two husbands, played impressively on press night by understudy Ryan Sellers, has two opportunities to secure laughs from the audience, especially in his disguise as Master Brooks, complete with a long wig and an iconic Rolling Stones t-shirt. The silent, simmering temper of Cody Nichols' Dr. Caius is as amusing as his over-the-top French accent. However, the most scene-stealing laughs may be attributed to Kate Eastwood Norris and her portrayal of Mistress Quickly. Think of a young Betty White in Fargo with a backward somersault thrown in, just because. The Merry Wives of Windsor plays at Folger Theatre through March 1st. You'll enjoy a psychedelic romp with Falstaff and his friends, and you'll absolutely love the many musical numbers by the ensemble that embellish this depiction of the Bard's comedy. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Denise. Who doesn't love a psychedelic romp?
Awesome.
And now on to our news for the 55-plus generation. Pay attention. 95% of all chronic disease have an inflammatory component. There are ways to fight off inflammation naturally from foods we eat. And an in-house nutritionist from Giant Food Store will discuss the foods that you can eat for inflammation Tuesday, February 11th at 10 a.m. at the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information, call 703-228-0955. Inga?
Thank you, Miriam. Always important. Lindsay Vajpayee, Director of Education and Outreach from Insight Memory Care Center, will be discussing brain-related changes in memory and learning as people age. She will demonstrate practices to keep your brain sharp. She will also discuss what to expect as you age, what's normal, and when to seek medical attention. That's on Tuesday, February 11th at 11 a.m. at the Langston Brown 55 Plus Center, located at 2121 North Culpeper Street. For more information, call 703-228-6300. Miriam.
Got to remember that number. Melody S. Mosley was the first ever female African-American forester employed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Miss Mosley will discuss her 28-year career as a professional forester and her struggles as a pioneer in this field. That's on Wednesday, February 12th at 11 a.m. at the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information, call 703-228-0955. Inga?
Thank you, Miriam. Sounds like an event for Adele. The 7th Street Players will perform Teresa, a 2-act dramedy by local playwright Tony Gallo. The play is about a woman who becomes one of Spain's leading icons because of her visions. The play will take place on Wednesday, February 12th at 8 p.m. at the Arlington Mill 55 Plus Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. This is a free performance. For more information, call 703-228-7369. Miriam.
Thanks, Inga. Don't you wish you knew a little bit more about basic plumbing? Bill Copeland of Home Depot has been advising seniors for a long time about not only the basics of plumbing, but other simple home remedies as well. For a session on plumbing repair remedies, join Bill Thursday, February 13th at 10 a.m. at the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. For more information, call 703-228-0955. And thanks so much to Judy Masabny for this week's 55 Plus stories, and also Jordan Kuharski for our news stories earlier. And now everyone is concerned about trees. I think, ladies, you'll really appreciate my next interview with Mary Glass. She is one of the founders of ATAG here in Arlington.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
That's why. Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm here with Mary Glass. She's a 40-year resident of Arlington County, but more importantly, she is the founder of ATAG, Arlington Tree Action Group. One of the founders, right? That's correct. Anyway, thank you for being with us, Mary.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Well, you're doing some heroic work, and you've got a lot of information to share. So let's start at the very beginning. Tell us again a little bit about ATAG.
Well, ATAG got formed a little over 2 years ago by some citizens who were passionate about the problems with trees disappearing in Arlington. And so we got together and decided that we were going to try to push action to preserve and plant more trees. And our goal is to network with people, individuals and organizations such as the Audubon Society and the Tree Stewards to try to get together and make that action happen.
And so what kind of results or reaction have you heard from people who are learning more about the importance of our tree canopy, how it affects air quality, how it affects ground temperatures, and definitely stormwater? What are you hearing?
Well, we found that the community is very concerned about trees and very invested in trees. They see that as part of the Arlington image, and they want us to make sure that bad things aren't happening to the trees. Developers coming in and clearing trees, even county projects that are coming in, removing more trees than need to be done. And in the process, we've been able to educate and bring together a lot of good information from a lot of organizations, such as the American Lung Association, identifying critical ozone areas here in Arlington. And trees are a major factor in trying to reduce ozone levels.
So I do know that there is an initiative to try to plant more trees, but help people understand why the mature tree canopy is so essential. I remember we talked a little bit about comparing it to the Amazon. Tell me how you feel about that.
Well, I think a lot of people look at places like the Amazon because there's so many trees there and it's such a unique environment, and think that an urban tree isn't as important. And in fact, it functions just as a tree in any place in the world. And in our case, we have a lot of mature trees that have a great value as far as stormwater retention, keeping the heat island effect down, energy costs, and air quality in particular. And if you look at a mature tree and what it can do, just as an example, one 31-inch mature tree, which is a good-sized tree, can soak up more than 11,000 gallons per year of stormwater.
Wow.
If we go and plant a tree, of course it's valuable, but only in the long run. In the first year, it can only soak up 51 gallons. So we need to switch our thinking about trees a little bit more. Planting certainly has been very popular, and it's a good approach, but preserving trees is even more important.
And it makes me think about the Dawn redleaf that was taken down last year, and there was no protection legislatively, or there was just nothing citizens could do, although they fought passionately. What can citizens begin to do to make changes, not just here in Arlington, but in Virginia, and really raise awareness about the importance of preserving the tree canopy?
Well, I think the Dawn redwood was a good example because it was a state champion tree. It was not just another tree on a lot. And the ATAG group organized people from the local Citizens Association, neighbors, ATAG members to try to raise this issue. And we took it to the county, and unfortunately, they did not stop the development, but a report came out of that, identifying what the issues were and how we needed to solve some of them, including using the Chesapeake Bay Ordinance more effectively and using permitting and having citizens come out and take action. And so we're really encouraging people to come out. I think the next 6 months are going to be very important. There are going to be several good opportunities for people to make their voice known.
And it's so great that you're curating all of these voices. There are some legislators that are doing some important work as well. Tell me about that.
Yes. In fact, ATAG has been meeting with Patrick Hope, one of our local delegates, and the county quarterly, along with some developers, to try to come up with good ideas on how to stop unnecessary tree removal in private development. And Patrick Hope has a bill now in front of the legislature, and David Bolivar, also a representative who covers part of Arlington, has another one. So ATAG is making the information about the legislation that's coming up, when it's coming up, when to go to the very important committee meetings where decisions are made on whether to forward that bill to the floor. And citizens can really have a bigger effect than they know. Even just sending a letter or an email can have a big effect to get the attention of the legislature.
They just need to have the information, and they need to know who to go to as a reliable source. And ATAG is certainly that, as our tree stewards. Tell us a little bit about the urban forestry plans that they have in our area.
Well, right now we have a very dated urban forestry plan. And it's going to come up for review and rewriting this year. And so that's a great opportunity for citizens who are concerned about what and how they want the urban forest to look like, to come and let their feelings be known. And you'd be surprised, going to one of the urban forestry commission meetings, it's a very small group, very friendly, and citizens come in and talk about their particular house or their neighborhood and the problems that they're having. And the Urban Forestry Commission really wants to hear. They really want to understand on the ground what's happening to people.
And they also want to help people understand the importance of, even on their own lots, what they can do to maintain and even develop around existing canopy. So how do people get in touch with you to learn more information and certainly to support the work that you're doing?
Well, I think the best way is to email us, arlingtontreeactiongroup@gmail.com, or go to our website, arlingtontreeactiongroup.org.
You're definitely putting a line in the sand. So
Yes.
I want to thank you so much, all of the ATAG members. I want to thank you for coming to see me. Come back.
My pleasure.
All right.
Anytime.
Wonderful. And thank you, viewers, for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
That was a great interview, Miriam. Thank
We
you so
love
much.
seeing you do double duty, especially when it comes to saving our trees.
Yes, well,
Exactly.
you're on the job all the time.
It's a worthy cause. A quick update from Denise Pringle. The King's Speech will be running at the National Theater from February 11th to the 16th. We won't have time for a review, but it's a fine play. That's it.
So that's
thank
it
you.
for the news. We did it without the boys.
We
That's
did
right,
it.
girl
I think there
power.
is some girl power here. It's
There's
not
some
like
synergy
I
going
feel it.
on.
Well,
I feel
we
it.
just want them to know that we have it under control. We have the
Exactly.
Arlington Weekly News
No
protected
need-
for
no need
them.
to- no
We're
need
on
to
the
panic,
job.
aren't we?
I'm Miriam Gennari.
I'm Inga Middleton.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.